God, I can't believe these people will be crying by now. It's not even November yet. Some people are already crying. Some white folks are already crying. And it's not November yet. Eh? Why not calm down till November before you cry all your tears out? Because we don't even know what is actually coming for you. Because number one thing we told you, we warned you. Black folks told you that this particular route you are about to take is going to burn you. This route you are about to take will not make sense for you. This route you are about to take is the most dangerous route. But no, you chose that same danger. And now that the danger is facing you, you are crying, you are wailing. It's just like a child seeing a candle light standing, but he still wants to put his hand to test if that candle light is hot or cold. But I love the fact that Maga has actually tested the hot parts of the candle light. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. Sonia here. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to the original creator of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. With that being said, let's get right into this video, and I'll be back with commentaries.
I need somebody to tell me they're lying. I need somebody to tell me they're lying right now, because what the fuck you mean that I'm not gonna get my SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat? Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is all we get? I need somebody to please tell me he's lying. I can't do. Oh.
Am I a bad person because I got a little smile on my face when I found out that 42% of the people that receive SNAP benefits are white people in red states?
Oklahoma, where I live, that's 1 in 6 people. So about 600,000 people in my state alone, Oklahoma, receive SNAP benefits. About 1 in 4 children in the U.S. receive SNAP benefits.
A lot of people that are on food stamps and live in really poor areas also are Trump voters. I'm seeing a lot of videos right now where a lot of people are really pissed at Trump.
This morning I called my local DSS office and I asked them to confirm whether or not what I was hearing was true, knowing it was true, that SNAP benefits are not coming next month. And she said, yeah, no, you're right, they're not coming. I said, okay, well, I hadn't heard anything, confirming what I'm hearing, so I was just calling to check. And she said, you're not going to hear anything. And I said, well, why? And she said, well, your local DSS are trying to figure out what's going on, but the state DSS is not planning on telling anybody what's going on. They're not planning on letting the citizens know that they're not going to get their food stamps next month. She also said that this would likely go on into December, that we will likely not get December's SNAP benefits. So that's great. That's lovely. So I'm coming to TikTok in hopes that there is an answer here. I don't know what the answer could be. I don't know what the solution could be. I don't know if is it mutual aid? Is it mutual aid? Do we all need to come together and start pooling our money and help these families like myself, like my mother, like my grandmother, who don't have the money to replace those benefits, who don't have the income to replace those benefits?
42 million Americans receive SNAP benefits, EBT, food stamps, whatever you want to call it, and in about a week on November 1st, there will be no more funding and people's SNAP cards will not have funds loaded on them, which means they will be going hungry. 39% of SNAP benefits in this country go to children, are feeding children. Children are going to go hungry in a week. For everybody asking, what do we do? What should we do? Protest doesn't work. Feed your neighbors. Feed people. This is the time. You need to invite people into your homes to feed them. Start a Food Not Bombs chapter. I don't have all the answers, but there is a clear problem and a clear call to action right now, and that is in 1 week, people are going to go hungry, and it is your job to feed your neighbors. I used to run a Food Not Bombs chapter, and that involved getting food that otherwise would have been thrown out from grocery stores or restaurants, preparing it into a hot, healthy meal, and serving it on the street to literally anyone who wanted it. When I lived in Kansas City, there was a guy on my block that would go to the food bank once a week, and he would get gallons of milk for all of the people on my street that didn't have cars and couldn't carry home heavy groceries, and he would just leave the gallon of milk on their porch. I also ran a carpool for some kids on my block, and I always made sure that I had healthy snacks. I had breakfast, I would pick them up from sports practice or take them to school, and I always made sure that I had food available for them, just in case they didn't have it at home. This involves talking to your neighbors and knowing where people are at and what their needs are, but I implore you in some way, if you feel like you need to do something, you feel compelled to take action, feed your neighbors.
This is a 5-alarm fire coming up on November 1st when SNAP is cut off. 41 million Americans are on SNAP benefits. 41 million. 12% of the U.S. population gets food assistance. One of my favorite organizations is Feeding America. You can donate here. If you want to get hyper local, they also have a way to find food near you. You can put in your zip code and find even more hyper-localized food banks in your area. So if there's one thing I can stress to people, please, please donate any extra food, any extra money you can to these food banks. This will be a dire situation. If the population of 41 million people no longer have access to food, it will get dark in a hurry. Hopefully they open up the government. Hopefully Republicans come to their fucking senses and don't cut health care. But we need to be prepared to help our neighbors out.
I think that the pause to SNAP benefits on November 1st isn't going to affect you because you don't receive food stamps. I want you to hear this. About 1 in 8 Americans receive SNAP benefits. In fact, in Oklahoma, where I live, that's 1 in 6 people. So about 600,000 people in my state alone, Oklahoma, receive SNAP benefits. About 1 in 4 children in the U.S. receive SNAP benefits. But you're not one of those people, so you don't care, but hang with me. When those benefits go away, just about $9 billion in grocery spending vanishes. So you've got to be thinking about not just the grocery stores being able to stay open and pay their employees, but you have to think about the entire supply chain, trucks on the road, people who provide food to these grocery stores. $9 billion. Every dollar spent in SNAP benefits adds about $1.50 to $1.80 to the economy. So cutting those benefits isn't saving that dollar, it's taking away that $1.50 to your local economy. But you don't receive SNAP benefits, you don't work for a grocery store, you don't drive a truck, you don't give a shit. But when all of those things happen, the only way to combat that is to drastically increase the price of groceries. Grocery prices are already up over 3% in 2025 alone, which is almost an entire percentage higher than the average increase in grocery prices over the last 20 years. I thought they were supposed to go down day one though. So even if SNAP benefits only pause for 1 month, which by the way would be detrimental to all the people I mentioned before that you don't give a shit about, it will cost the economy roughly $13 to $14 billion in profit. And you can expect your grocery prices in just that 1 month to go up at least 1%. And states will stand to lose about $300 to $500 million in sales tax revenue. So even if you do not receive SNAP benefits, you never have, you never will, you do not want these to be paused on November 1st.
So the White House is telling states not to issue people SNAP benefits in November. Now, I've never gotten SNAP benefits. I don't get food stamps. I don't get Medicaid. I don't get any government assistance. I've never been eligible for it. I've always made too much money. But I've never had a problem with my taxpayer money going to feed people. Ever. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, food stamps could be universal to where anyone in the country can sign up for it. And I wouldn't mind paying that. I have a bigger problem paying for, like, you know, the F-35 that we've spent billions of dollars on and it still doesn't fly properly, or the fact that Congress is still getting paid during a government shutdown while we're all working and the government is not functioning. And usually during government shutdowns, they make sure that food stamps and things like that keep going out because, you know, children will starve. And I don't care about my tax money going to feeding starving children. I'm a lot more pissed about the $40 billion that Donald Trump is sending down to Argentina than I am about some mom who's trying to feed her kids. And if you have a problem with some mom trying to feed her kids, then there's something wrong with you. And if you don't have a problem with the government stopping using our money to pay for these kids food like they're supposed to, then I don't know what the fuck's wrong.
If you don't get your SNAP benefits in November and you voted for Trump, please make the video when you realize you're not going to be able to eat for the month of November. If you don't get your SNAP benefits and you voted for Kamala, Please let us know, and we will make sure that your month of November and Thanksgiving are as equally good as if you got your benefits. We'll get GoFundMe's going, things like that. But only for the people that voted for Kamala.
Remember how I told you the longer this government shutdown lasts, the worse it's going to get? Well, we are now 20 days into it, and worse is almost here for more than 40 million men, women, and kids who get food assistance from the U.S. government's SNAP program.
And an important role of the government is to provide that safety nest for those with the least among us. Today, I think New York announced that they can't continue taking new enrollees because of the government shutdown in SNAP, in our food stamp program. We're going to run out of money in 2 weeks. So you're talking about millions and millions of vulnerable families, of hungry families that are not going to have access to these programs because of this shutdown.
That was the Secretary of Agriculture who said last week that by November 1st, an estimated 42 million Americans could be shut out of the SNAP program. Recipients just wouldn't get their benefits. Now, just to be clear, SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It used to be called food stamps, and it is the government program that provides food benefits to low-income families in order to supplement their grocery budgets. Now, according to the Agriculture Department, about 12% of U.S. residents receive SNAP benefits, and as of 2024, that SNAP benefit averaged about $190 a month. According to this letter, though, sent to all SNAP administrators in all states nationwide 10 days ago, if the government does not reopen, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits. The acting administrator of SNAP went on to say in the letter, in the interest of preserving maximum flexibility, state SNAP offices should not be sending out monthly issuance files to vendors. And without those issuance files, vendors cannot load SNAP benefits onto those EBT cards. And if the benefits aren't loaded onto the EBT cards, then SNAP beneficiaries don't have the money to buy the groceries they need. It's a ripple effect. So if you do receive SNAP benefits, what is this going to mean for you? Well, the fact is the government is shut down because, as I've been reporting, Congress cannot agree on how to allocate money to each government department. The Department of Agriculture is one of those government departments, and it oversees SNAP benefits. So until the shutdown is ended, legally, they can't spend any money, including on your SNAP benefits. Each state, though, is handling this differently. Some are doing exactly what this letter says and cutting off all November SNAP payments. Some are reportedly considering sending out partial payments in November, and it's also possible that your state may pay for the benefits up front themselves and then try and get some kind of reimbursement from the federal government. But that is all in limbo right now. So if you are in this program and you are concerned about your November benefits, I highly suggest that you check your state's SNAP program website to figure out if there's anything you should be doing right now to prepare yourself. It's also possible, because of the shutdown, the Trump administration could do for SNAP what they say they are going to do for the WIC program and the 7 million low-income women and children who rely on that food assistance program. The White House said that it will temporarily use tariff revenue to pay for WIC. We will have to wait and see if they choose to do the same thing for SNAP.
A lot of people that are on food stamps and live in really poor areas also are Trump voters. I'm seeing a lot of videos right now where a lot of people are really pissed at Trump. They weren't mad at him when they got to see other people lose stuff, but now that it affects them. See, we're dealing with the kind of person here that takes joy in watching people lose stuff. They were indoctrinated from middle school. When they watch their middle school team lose or win, they get to go, ha, 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 I love watching you lose. That's what America does. It's called indoctrination. We now have a president who is like a toddler. He made an AI video where he dropped excrement from a F-whatever fighter jet, and he's wearing a crown. This is like a toddler in the White House, and he's punishing his own people who voted for him if they're poor. He is sending a signal to America that he's taking from you to give to his buddies. And this is what you voted for. A lot of people that are on food stamps and live in really poor areas also are Trump voters. I'm seeing a lot of videos right now where a lot of people are really pissed at Trump. They weren't mad at him when they got to see other people.
Congratulations, you've seen the glory of God. Congratulations, He has done it for you. You will come back with a new song to say your God is good. Hey, you will come back with a new song to say your God is good. Oh, black folks, congratulations. God is good. Hey. Someone asked me to stop laughing in my video, and I asked the person, like, why do you want me to stop laughing if I see something laughable? Like, are you a devil that you don't want me to laugh? Don't want me to smile? I rebuke and cast you. 42% of people that actually receive SNAP benefits from the red states. States that are hungry. States that barely have something to put in their mouths. States that never looked at themselves and looked at the future for their children. Now they are crying. Oh, someone tell me it's not true. Who is telling you it's not? Darling, it is true. It is 100% true. Nobody is telling you anything. You are not being deceived. You are not going to get SNAP benefit November because you actually voted and subscribed to this. So you think when he was actually doing all of the talking during his campaign, he was actually joking? You think he did not care about his ballroom compared to your tummy and that of your children? You think he did not care about what his pocket can actually give him compared to no matter how you roll on the floor? You are joking, darling, because yes, you are not going to be getting SNAP benefit. I pray it didn't happen. Holy Spirit, have mercy. But if it happens, I'm happy for MAGAs. I'm only sad for those ones that never subscribed to this, those that actually saw this coming. In your next word, the first thing you need to do is to sit down, get people that are educated to educate you on what you're about to fix your hand into. Because right now, you created a mess that is affecting a lot of people, you MAGAs. I know that you guys have come to the realization, you're like, yeah, we've used our hands to actually destroy the United States. A lot of MAGAs are still there, being happy, jumping up and down like dog fowl, that the orange man is actually doing the best thing ever in their life. And if I looked at where this best thing is actually coming from, I'm not seeing it, honestly. The only people I feel for with this SNAP benefit of a thing is some of my black folks. And that is why I see reasons with black folks that are saying, let's boycott Christmas. Let's boycott Thanksgiving. Because at the end of the day, some of them automatically say they've even boycotted this since the beginning of this year. Because a lot of people are not even able to eat. A lot of people are not even able to do what they normally do as usual. So it's as good as they have literally boycotted before now. You understand? But seeing these white folks coming out to cry loud and saying that, oh, someone should tell her that it's not true. How do you want me to come here and tell you that it's not true? My darling, it is true. It is 100% true. It simply means you need to get your acts together and go and do what you need to do for your children to be able to eat, for you to be able to feed. This is not time for, oh, I give birth to 9 children, 6 children. I am sitting one place. There is nothing I can do. The woman literally opened her mouth to say for 13 good years, she has not been able to get a job. She has been relying and staying, living on SNAP benefits. And that is why she keeps giving birth to children like back to back, back to back. So now that this thing is actually happening, and if this actually gets to proceed in November, I wonder how those children are going to feel, because at when I saw her video, over 9 children already, she even have another one in her hand. And I was like, this is literally what these people can just think. The only thing you can think is just bringing children to this world, children that you cannot train. You think the government will keep training them for you from beginning to the end? Don't come my comments and start telling me that it's your right. I'm not saying it's not your right. It's your right, but now that right is being taken away from you as a white folks. That's your privilege that you think is covering you is going to deal with you and show you that you and black people are the same. Because a lot of you guys think that, oh, I have white privilege. Use your privilege to go and get SNAP benefit. Let's see. Because if it definitely reach you, that means it's going to reach black folks. So you simply do not have any privilege. As far as I'm concerned, your privilege is it's useless. I'm sorry to say. Because at the end of the day, you find out that every single thing that is affecting black will definitely affect you. And a lot of you guys were literally whining your mouth and saying that, oh, the people that receive more of this SNAP benefits are black folks, blah, blah, blah. You've seen it, 42%, red state alone, 42%, white folks. So that is to say 70% of people receiving this SNAP benefits, enjoying it, or even to 80% as far as I'm concerned, is black folks, is white folks. So it is just few percentage of black folks that are actually enjoying this SNAP benefit. And that is why in situations like this, black folks will now arise more and shine, for their light has come. Because yes, they've planned themselves ahead. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I do add like I say in my videos. I'm going to be Simba, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.